How are you, Governor?
Hi.
I'm from Stamford. You were my mayor in Stamford. You did a great job. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming out.
Good to be with you.
Can you guess what my question is going to be?
It's something about an athletic league or something?
My question is, what is the state, what procedures is the state going to do to house the 30,000 or 40,000 convicted felons that this law is now produced, that has been passed in April?
Yeah, you know, I think that's a number that some of the folks on your side have put out. I don't think it's that number, quite frankly. I want to be very clear. People have a choice to make, whether they want to comply with the law or not, and they take the risks that they've accepted. So actually, where's that lady who was yelling at me for talking about the young man who's never going to be sent home? Right there. So you may have come to talk about a similar issue. So let me say this. People make choices, and we have tried to be helpful to people, to give them rules and regulations and laws that they could live with, by the way, which are the same laws that existed largely in this country until 2004, when the assault weapon ban was allowed to expire, and brought about a plethora of weapons that were never allowed to be distributed in this country, and magazines that were not allowed to be distributed in this country until 2004. So this is not an ancient investment in this particular technology. What ultimately happened is the people of the state of Connecticut decided they wanted to take a step back with respect to this legislation, or to our rules. And that if we couldn't have a national prohibition, at least we'd have a state freeze. And under that state freeze, people were given the opportunity to simply come forward, just like you renew your license or you get a permit to operate your business, to declare that you have those weapons, so that we can draw a line and say, you have the right to have that weapon because you had it before a certain date. But you don't have the right to acquire another weapon and bring it into our state, or for that matter, to transport other guns into our state. It's not an unreasonable position to take, particularly in a state that lost 20 children and lost a number of adults in Newtown. It's not an unreasonable position to take when it is compliant with the laws as it existed in Connecticut largely from 1993 to the present with respect to certain guns. For instance, let me point this out. There are probably people who never bothered to register handguns when they were required to do so. And when those folks are arrested in the commission of a crime or in connection with some other investigation, guess what? There's a price to pay for that. So people make a decision. I hope people decide that if they decided not to comply with the law in the state of Connecticut, that they do the right thing, that they no longer own those weapons. Because the people of the state of Connecticut, a state that is now experiencing the lowest crime rates in 46 years, have decided that that's the law that they want in their state.
The papers right now, especially in Stamford, there's at least half a dozen instances since the beginning of the year where people have been arrested with illegal handguns. Some of these handguns have had the serial numbers filed off. These people have been arrested and released with the promise to appear. If we're so tough on public safety and doing something about gun violence, how come something isn't done with these people that once they're caught, they're put away? Why are they on the street?
I'm sorry. There's two different things. Listen, I'm not the bail bondsman, or I don't set bail. And if somebody has substantial ties to the community or that sort of thing, the bail bondsman makes a recommendation with respect to that person, whether they're likely to flee or not to flee. Having said it, it is a serious crime to commit in our state, and I would expect that it would be treated seriously. And in fact, I believe it has a mandatory requirement with respect to sentencing, so that if there is a conviction, then there's a mandatory sentence. So I hear you. We're never going to agree on everything, but I respect your right to have your point of view. What I would simply say to those folks who miss their opportunity to comply with the law, reach out and understand how you can come into compliance, which probably means that you have to get rid of a weapon that a lot of people in Connecticut don't think you should have had in the first place, but you have the opportunity to keep, and you decided not to. Thank you, Governor. Well, we added about 11 minutes to the program. We started about 10 after. We added 11 minutes. It's great to be with you. Thank you for coming out. I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.